Hello students, welcome to the session on database management system. In our previous lecture we have discussed the purpose of database management system, and before that we have discussed what is DBMS and the terminologies which are related to your DBMS like data, information and databases that we have discussed. Just do remember the terminologies, what are the meaning, why, because you people will be understanding the further classes in detail if it is clear. Okay, if it is not clear, if you are listening to the subject directly, then you people will be having a little confusion. What is data, what is database, what is DBMS? You people will be having a little bit of confusion. In order to not happen that, watch the previous video so that you people will be having a clarity onto your data, database, information and DBMS too. Okay, in the previous session we have discussed about the purpose of DBMS. Okay, in that only we have discussed about the traditional file management system, that is file management system. File management system. See, this is the previous version that we have used before the DBMS. Okay, in generally in your computer, just watch your screen man. On the screen you people can observe this. Okay, say I will close this, and in my computer you people will be having the drives. Okay, C drive, D drive. In this you people will be storing the data. This is what one kind of example for your file based management system, I can say, where you people will be storing the data in a format of files. You people will be creating the folders, you people will be creating the files in which you people will be storing the data. But see, when you are creating the applications for them, when you people are trying to create the application for that particular database, consider you people are creating some data in your Excel file, then you people will be storing somewhere in the disk. But in order to access that data, you people will be using some other applications. So when you are trying to access them, you people will be creating a front end application. For example, you people will be using the Facebook now. That is what the front end is, right? Application is nothing but the front end. You people will be opening the application, you people will be uploading the images, you people will be uploading the videos, and you people will be working with that. But when you are trying to retrieve the information, when you are observing your profile, you people can retrieve the previous information also. Now the question comes is how it is stored, how we are retrieving the data. See, in our previous file management system, we will be storing them individually. So whatever the changes that we will be making by using the application programs will not affect your original database, and whatever the changes that we are doing in the original database, that will not affect in your application programs. Okay, so at the both ends we need to manually represent them. At the both ends we will be manually updating the data, I can say. That is what the major problem in your file management system. We are discussing that only in our today's session, that is problems associated with your file system. Okay, in that the first problem that we are going to discuss is your structural dependence. What do you mean by structure actually? See, this is the way where you are going to store your data. Consider that if you are having some employee detail like employee ID, you are storing this one, employee ID, employee name, employee designation. If you are storing this in your database, consider that your structure is this, your table structure is this, you are having employee ID, you are having employee name, employee designation. Consider after creating this database, after creating this table, your client requirement is that you need to add the employee salary also. So when I am adding employee salary, if you are creating this column at your application program, it won't affect on your file based management system. Why? Because it will be storing physically, no, it will be storing only employee ID, employee name, employee designation. It won't reflect your employee salary. Again you need to manually come to your database, to the file system, and again you need to add this employee salary. Then only this will reflect in your application program as well as in your database. Both are different. Application programs are the front ends in which we are trying to update our data, delete our data. Right? Back end means physically we will be storing the data. In order to happen that, we need to go for physical storages, means to say that we need to go for database and we need to update, and we need to go for application program also, and then there also we need to update the data. This is what the structure is. Okay, so when it is not dependent, we need to go for application program separately, we need to go for database separately. Wherever you are using this database now, to that particular location you need to go and then you need to update it. That is what the structural dependency is. Okay, now try to understand by the definition. Okay, now here you see file system exhibits what? Structural dependency, which means that the access to a file is dependent on its structure. So if you are having 3 columns, you need to access only 3 columns. If you are updated at the application layer and if you have added employee salary, then you people will not access what? Employee salary. Why? Because that need to be updated at your database. That is what they are saying. In this example, they have given some example. If you are adding a date of birth of a customer into your table called customer table, then given this change, none of the previous programs will work with this new column. If you are having programs already, if you are given some application programs for this customer table, customer database, then they will be not accessing this particular column called date of birth. Why? Because it is not updated at their programs. If you are updating that at the database, that will not reflect into your application. So if you are doing any changes at the application layer and it won't reflect on your database. So that is what the major problem that we could see in your file system. And see, therefore all the file system programs must be modified to conform to new file structure. So everything should be modified manually, so that they will know that one more new column has been added into our database. If it is not done, they won't accept the newly created structure. They won't accept this particular column at all. Okay, that is what our main problem is. And see, conversely, structural independence exists when it is possible to make changes in the file structure without affecting the application programs. It is possible to make that if it is not having any effect onto your application programs. As I said to you people, when they are retrieving the information from your application programs, if it is available, if the new data is also available, then structural independence can be achieved. That is what their meaning is. This will play a key role when you are creating the databases, when you are attaching them to your application programs. Number of programs will be utilizing the same database. So all the programs should access the newly created data as well as old data. Then structural independence can be achieved. Okay, but this is the major problem that we could observe in your file-based system. Okay, and the next one is your data dependence. In our file-based management system, we will be having one more topic called data dependency. See, when we are talking about the structural dependency, we have created a structure. If it is updated at each and every layer, at each and every program, then it can be accessed and structural independence can be achieved. But the data independence can be achieved whenever we are changing any kind of data in our application. Then it should be accessible by all application programs. Say, consider if you have created a table and you have created a column called fee. Then when you are entering fee, you people will be giving the type as integer. Say, consider I want to enter the fee in decimal format. If I have changed this to integer to decimal. Decimal means what? They will be accessing the point values also. So when I am updating this integer to decimal, that need to be accessible by your application programs too. If it is not happening, then the data dependency exists. So when you are changing the data types in your database, that need to be reflected to the application programs where the database is actually used. Okay, if it is not done, then the data independence will not exist. Okay, see here, even changes in the characteristics of data. Changes in the characteristics of data means what? We are changing the data type from integer to decimal, as we have taken the example. Such as changing the field from integer to decimal requires changes in all the types of programs that access the file. Which is accessing the file, they need to be changed. If it is not changed, they will be not accessing the decimal values. Why? Because they have been given as integer. Okay, that is what they are saying. Because of all the data access programs are subjected to change when any of the file storage characteristics change, then the file system is said to be exhibiting what? Data dependency. So that is what the reason why we are not going for the file systems. If we are updating in the database, it won't reflect it the application programs which will access those files, which will access the particular data. That is what the we are saying, that we will be having a data dependency problem in file-based management system. Okay, file independency, data independency exists when it is possible to make changes in the data storage characteristic without affecting what? Application programs that that access these particular files. Okay, in which you are creating the data. If it is not affecting the application programs, if you can access the data even if it is changed from one type to other type, then you can say that the data independency is existing in your database. Until or unless that, we will be saying that data dependency is there in your file-based management system. I hope it is clear. Okay. In other words, in a single line, I will try to make you understand what is a structural dependency and what is a data dependency. Okay. See ma, you people will be creating the files, you people will be creating the data. Say consider if I have created a file with these particular fields: student ID, student name and address. Consider that we are having these three columns and I have created this file, and you are using your college application to know these particular details. But after some days I have added one more column. Okay, in my database, where I am creating my database, there I have added one more column, that student fee. But you people will be using the application program in order to access your student detail. So when you are accessing, you people can access these three only. Why? Because this student fee is not updated at your application program. So if it is not updated, then structural dependency exists. Okay, right. Now the second one is data dependence. So consider student is having what? Student fee. Student fee will be entered into what? Integer numbers, 30,000, 40,000. Consider that I have taken 30,000, right? 30,000 will be entered in integer format also. So I will be giving the type of data as integer in student fee column. But later on I want to enter 30,000 and 50 paisa. So I need to have what? Decimal, fractional points. So when I am changing it from integer to decimal, if you people can access, if you people can enter the data, if you people can see the data without affecting this particular what data changes, then it is called as data independence. If it is not available for you people, then that is called as data dependency. I hope it is clear to you people. That's it for now, and we will discuss database approach in our next session. Okay, and also we will be discussing about the limitations and advantages of your database management system. Okay, that's it for now. See you in the next one. Thank you.